all, knowing that, go back and watch football and with the family, and it was going to be great. So that got stripped completely. It was like out of the blue. We're not doing that anymore. No more football. We're not doing it anymore. Okay, fine. That's no big deal. It's no big deal. So moving forward, things started to get weird. And, and I can't tell you the exact dates of all of this stuff, but some exact dates I do have, actually. But Alex Jones became a talking head in our home. And I would hear his loud, disgusting voice coming out of the home office that we had. And to back up a little bit, my partner had gotten laid off in 2010 and started his own business that same year because he was talented as heck. He worked in the field and then got his degree. He's the kind of talent that anybody and everybody wants because he knows how to do it. He knew how to do it before the theory, and that's valuable. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. So working from home, and I actually have some numbers here from 2013, and I've put these away for a long time because I don't like looking at them, but the numbers, he brought in $93,000 that year, but $90,000 went out. That's red flag number 2. And so how did that happen? Well, it was the year before, 2012, and this year, 2013, that purchases were being made that I had no say in. I had no idea that they were happening. And I know I've talked about this on another podcast, but I've got some numbers here just so you understand that this was a real thing. And it's a real thing for many people across the country who get sucked into these people like Alex Jones. And I would even, it's funny, I'm using his name, but nobody else's because I don't care about him. And Donald Trump, another talking angry head that it's like they fire off the abnormal DNA in folks and they turn into these hateful people that feel they have every right to just cause chaos, let's say. And I'm not going to get into, what triggers other people, but I believe it's fear and lack of control and lack of power. But moving past, just brushing over that big subject. So Alex Jones is a salesperson. He sold his theories, he sold his ideas, and he sold products as well to go along with them. Smart. Again, an example, another really smart, shrewd person. And on the flip side, like the same side of the other side of the coin is these people are dumb as fuck and just awful. But, awful smart people are the scariest. Anyway, so let me just give you a couple examples. So, okay. So if you aren't, don't know anything about this Doomsday Prepper show, it ran for like 3 years and it profiled survivalists, people who were preparing for the end of society, economic collapse and societal collapse and, takeovers of sorts. And so it profiled, I don't know, but like 4 every show. And, really got into the nitty gritty of what they were doing to be prepared. And a lot of them, emergency food, stocking up on, freeze dried stuff and stuff like that. So that was like probably the first thing I noticed coming into the house. were the boxes and boxes of emergency food. And so I've got some numbers here. I don't know where I put them. I say we, it wasn't me. I didn't do any of this. I had no connection with this whatsoever. Some of it I can barely remember because I had the 3 children and I had no time to get into any depth of conversation with him about it. None. It was impossible for me. So let's see. One of the things on Doomsday Preppers that I remember vividly was that they profiled some folks that put their money into silver, because silver would be a valuable trading item when paper money lost its value. Because, as you know, maybe you don't, but I talk about this often. Paper money it's an agreement between people. It doesn't really exist. These pieces of paper are worth something. And I get it. Like silver, precious metals will always retain value if people agree that they're valuable. If we decide that gold is worthless, then it's instantly worthless. I mean, it's just stuff that we agree to amongst each other. So, I don't even know how to talk about this. I feel like this is a sickness. It's a mental illness, and I don't want to lay blame. I do just want people to know, though. But he thought that he should sink some of our money into silver bars. So that was 2013. And February of 2013 was the first purchase of silver. And that came in at $1,590 worth of silver bars. And then in March, another purchase of $1,554 worth of silver bars. So we're talking over $3,000 of silver that sat in a safe and was not usable for anything at that time. We couldn't buy groceries with that. Can't buy firewood. Can't pay medical bills with silver bars, So it was simply there in anticipation of when the economy collapsed. So there's that. And then we have, let's see. Oh, and Alex Jones was a big proponent or anti-fluoridation. And, I remember these discussions came up in the House, and there were letters written to local dentists about the use of fluoride and how they should stop. And actually, one of the local dentists spoke to his father and said, what is up with your kid, man? And so that's just one example. And again, you are free to say what you want. And this man knew that, and he carried the Constitution in a pocket guide in his back pocket for a little while. And he spoke out, and that was fine. Again, that was something that, it's okay. He's doing what it's his right to do that. I'm going to just sit back and keep raising these children, and he can do what he wants. But that anti-fluoride sentiment turned into a $1,000 anti-fluoridation water system that was installed in our home in the basement, which required filters and other stuff. And so he installed that. I don't even know when. I don't know how. I wasn't down there. But that thing cost $1,000. Not to mention the second water filtration system that we were required to use. We'd have to take the water out of the tap and pour it into the water filter. So it was filtered a second time. And this was what we were required to use in the house. And I don't know how much that water filtration system cost, but, just we couldn't drink our own tap water because that's what we were told by the so-called head of household. So that's another, $1,200? And I'm not even talking about the guns, because we had a couple of 2 AKs and then the rest of the guns and all the ammo. And here we have, let's see, this is 2013, a purchase from Infidel Body Armor, $427. Purchase from ITS Tactical, $539. I don't even know what that stuff was. Still, I don't know. So this is the third, fourth, fifth red flag, let's say. And to back up into 2012, when this really started to pick up steam, that's when the food came. So the food was coming in 2012, and the body armor and gas mask and other things were coming in 2013, and the silver was in 2013. But back in 2012, purchases from BePrepared.com, which is emergency food, because I just looked it up. February of 2012, $682. March of 2012, $435. April of 2012, $144. June of 2012, a purchase from an online gun store or gun, ammunition, all the stuff, all the gun stuff from Midway USA, $613. And of course, the direct purchases from InfoWars, which is Alex Jones's website, $344. September of 2012, another purchase from Be Prepared Food, emergency food, $269. November of 2012, from Be Prepared, $488. Jesus. Another purchase from Midway in December of 2012, $458. And again, I'm going to back up to that original number, and I know I'm giving numbers from 2012 and 2013, but 2013, when we were struggling for money, and I can't remember if that was the year I had no medical insurance, and it was a struggle. It was always a struggle to get by. Again, $93,000 in, $90,000 out. How that happened is pretty apparent. But when I brought it up and when I started unraveling all of this, the pushback was unbelievable. I was told that it was all for the security and safety of our family, and that my worries about having these weapons in the house, having all the guns were unlocked. And so the mentality was that a locked gun is useless in an emergency situation, and that the handgun that was always on him and at the bedside was never locked. And I had an issue with that. I had a major issue with all that. And I felt that my voice